Bogle! Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Headcanon O'Clock Time. And in case you couldn't tell by the intro, yes, we have another 28 OC to look at. Now, Ethan, if you're checking this out, you're probably going to get excited and jump for joy for this. And then, on to this OC comes from Packet W4 Production, by the way. So a Class 28 OC that's not from Ethan or Rob. So that's something new. Now, on to Daishi. Liam, the depressed diesel. So let's get into his origin story. Shall we? I think we shall. Now then. He was built sometime in the 1960s, and he has the number D5712, which is an actual number worn by an actual Class 28. Now that he would often get picked on by some of his brothers like Roderick, Trev, and Jaden. I've covered Trev and Jaden already, Lenny, you know. But he knows that not all of his brothers are bad. That not all of his siblings are bad, as he has some really friendly ones, like Balco, Ethan, Vicar, etc. And his personality, he's a bit sad and a bit, depressed. So he's like Blake from Rexel Jet and Jamie from Team Zug series, Michael the Mischievous Diesel, except he has a different reason why he's depressed. Except he has a different reason why he's depressed. And that's because his class is faulty and they always break down. That's the main problem with the 28s. It's as a reminder. They were noisy, produced a lot of smoke, and were prone to breaking down. Not the best diesel engine design, we can all agree on that. And then, one day, he was asked to take a train of coal truck. That's because the original engine had broken down. And he was the only engine available. While he was taking the train, he broke down, and his driver had to call for help. While he was alone, the trucks decided they had to do something very mischievous. They bashed into him, causing him to move on his own. He tried to put on his brakes, but he couldn't because they were deactivated. Worse was to follow. A Class 29 was also on the same line as him. You guys can probably put the pieces together on who I'm referring to. And then, before you know it, Liam collided into the 29, causing a massive explosion. The crash was really bad. Unfortunately, the BR Class 29 that he had crashed into was Bradley. I've covered Bradley already. Letting you guys know. You guys can go check out him and Donovan's headcanon if you want. Bradley somehow survived the accident. Liam, however, didn't make it through his crash. he was scrapped the next day. While his remains were taken to a scrapyard, Bradley was sent to the works and he was overhauled and fixed, and he forgot about the accident and went back to work. Although sometimes when he is trying to sleep, his mind drifts to the shadows of the past he keeps buried away, often dreaming about the really bad crash that he had. And some say that Liam's ghost still roams the rails to this very day. So, yeah. I think it's such a shame that he was killed off. I've asked this before, but I'm going to ask it again. Pekka W4 Production, what's with you killing off most of your OCs? Please answer me. Okay, so that's his origin story. Let's get into my take on him. So his story starts off the way as it does at the beginning, with him working alongside his siblings. I'm not going to say their names because you guys should probably know who they already are already. Anyways, he's given that he was originally built for passenger services, he was not a really reliable diesel class. He often has mechanical problems and would often have to be fixed. This wasn't a good look for them, wasn't it? And because of this, they were taken off express duties and put on local trains. And given the year that he was built, he didn't have much time left himself. He was withdrawn from service in 1968, and he doesn't know that two of his brothers, Boko and Ethan, are on the island of Sodor. And technically Brenner as well. He lives on Sodor, but he's privately owned, but he takes rail tours. Just letting you all know as a reminder. I've covered Brenner already as a reminder. Brenner's created by Rob the Canadian National Northern. And whenever he was sent to take a train near or any other line, and he would pass any other diesel engine. They were not the nicest towards him, often calling him a rejected freak and a faulty diesel. You might even hear some of them say some stuff like, "Wow, I can't believe BR decided to design a failure like that. I'm glad I don't have a Metrovic engine." Loud shouting matches were always a common sight whenever loud shouting matches were always a common sight whenever Liam entered the yard, usually with some trucks, and another diesel engine was always there, hurling abuse at his siblings. This would soon lead to a chain of events that would lead to trouble. One day, Liam had finished his last train for the day and was just sitting in a shed. He was just sleeping in a shed. Outside, a Class 22 by the name of Donovan was there. His crew looked back. If you're wondering why Donovan is here and not at his scrapyard, he had to take a train somewhere else and he's just staying here. Looks like the spot's taken. It's fine. This rejected freak shouldn't be in the shed anyway. We'll shunt him out of the way. His crew tried to argue back at him, but they had no choice. Liam awoke the moment he felt a coupling connecting to him. Hey, what are... Silence, rejected freak. If I catch you sleeping in these sheds and these yards again, pretending you're a well-loved diesel class, I won't hesitate to throw you into the smelter's pit at my scrapyard. He then shunted Liam into a waiting goods train, and then retreated for the sheds, his defiant smirk only being cut off when his crew closed the doors. All Liam could do that night was just sit in the siding and cry. Now, with most of his siblings being withdrawn and scrapped, with a few exceptions, he felt a bit lost, not knowing where to go anymore. None of his siblings know where he is now, but I like to think that he eventually found a home where he can do the work he is given, and doesn't involve him breaking down too much, and he can call that railway his home. There you go. And that's my headcanon for Liam. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!